But like I said it for like the third time now, but my name's Andy Calanda. It's Andrew if you want to get legal about it. And I'm the president. That's my email if anybody wants to reach out to me to get put on our mailing list or have any questions like after this presentation. But our other execs are Patrick Connors and Matthew Delphus. They unfortunately weren't able to make it today, but there are general execs, and feel free to, look them up on the Villanova directory and reach out to them if you've got any questions as well, because they're, they've got a wealth of knowledge about this stuff as well. And added our logo there for good touch. So like, as you may assume, this is a very unique semester that we've got planned, but some of our key projects or key activities that are going to kind of be recurring is we'd like to have monthly speaker events over Zoom for sure, in accordance with university guidance and guidelines from the CDC and all that good stuff. These are going to be great chances, even though they're going to be virtual, they're going to be great chances to meet experienced and established entrepreneurs and business leaders, and perhaps, find some inspiration, really build out your network, build out your set of connections, go follow all those cool people on LinkedIn and all that good stuff. On top of that, we're planning on releasing bi-weekly, so every other week, newsletters covering entrepreneurial news happenings along with events from the ICE Institute. If anybody that doesn't know what ICE is on campus, that's basically, it's very similar to the Entrepreneurship Society, but it's kind of totally like university funded and sponsored. And they provide, all these different resources, all these different competitions based in the basement of Falvey. And they're also doing a lot of stuff, obviously, online this semester. But they're another great resource that we partner with a lot to bring entrepreneurial opportunities and events onto campus. Finally, we're going to be holding general body meetings every now and again to discuss other projects and plans for the spring semester and for the fall semester for the end of it, as well as to facilitate discussion on entrepreneurial news and developments. So, if something really intense happens, maybe there's a development with, Tesla, we don't really even think of Tesla maybe as an entrepreneurial venture anymore because, its stock is sky high and it's become such a household name, but it still is, Elon Musk, an entrepreneur, and, it's amazing the stuff that he's been able to accomplish, like so many other great entrepreneurs out there. So it's really great to explore how that kind of went all the way from an idea to a stock that before it split was worth like $2,000 a share. So very interesting stuff to explore. And we always like to talk about that at our meetings. So for some of our upcoming events, actually something we're looking at for the end of this month. So tentatively planned for the week of September 28th. But scaling a startup with a Philadelphia-based company called NeuroFlow. NeuroFlow is an HIPAA compliant digital health platform, and they optimize the way, directly from their website, they optimize the way behavioral healthcare is delivered, tracked, and assessed. So like I said, they're based in Philly. They're based by a couple like local Philly individuals, entrepreneurships. And basically their whole company model is about bridging the gap between like mental health, behavioral health, and technology, and really optimizing the process of improving people's behavioral and mental health through the use of different technological tools for monitoring, treatment, and that type of thing. So we plan to have some of their engineers come and have a Zoom meeting with us, like I said, the week of September 28th, which is about 2 weeks from now, and sharing kind of how they built this software from zero to hero, quite literally. So it should be a very interesting event. We hope to see you guys there. There's a little video, but I'll save that for another time. One other thing I'd like to share with you guys today is an ongoing project we have for the spring semester, and this is the Villanova Entrepreneurship Spring Workshop. So this is going to be a project where basically we're going to be having weekly meetings, probably on Friday afternoons in the spring, for general entrepreneurship, business planning, and idea generation. It's going to be a training series. So we hope to have some sort of plaque or certification that you can brag about, put on your resumes, your LinkedIn pages, all that good stuff afterwards. Plan to have maybe every week having a guest speaker come. Hopefully this will be in person with it being in the spring, but if not, definitely over Zoom. Currently looking at, not just those people who are starting businesses, but those who, maybe just have ideas and want to develop them further. So it's really something that's, applicable and relevant for anybody, no matter how engaged you are in entrepreneurship right now or how like deeply interested you are in it. As long as you have a passion for sort of like exploring your wheelhouse, it's definitely something that would be worth your time. So we hope to see you guys applying for that. But like I said, it'll be weekly trainings in the spring, going throughout the rest of the spring semester, most likely on Friday afternoons, and more information and the applications for that will go live later in the fall semester. So there are some more slides on this, but that's all I have for right now. We're planning on having our first general body meeting of the year, probably next week, but if not, definitely the week after that. So we definitely hope to see you guys signing up and showing interest in the Entrepreneurship Society. And if you do, we'll definitely be passing on more information on our first general body meeting, and you'll get to see all the other cool slides I have here. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, Andy. Any questions in regard to the Villanova Entrepreneurship Society? If you have them, you can send them in through chat and we'll ask Andy to address them. All right, Sophia, you want to introduce Business and Leadership Society?
Sure. So next up, we're going to have Lindsay talking about the Business Leadership Society, which is that's a society that I'm a part of. That I think it's just really great. It teaches you a lot of different skills, especially when it comes to those leadership soft skills that a lot of different companies look for. So with that, I'll pass it off to Lindsay.
Thanks so much. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, yeah, so thanks so much for your interest in Business and Leadership Society and being here to listen. So right here is the mission of the Business and Leadership Society, which is first and foremost just to build friendships among people that are interested in business. Anyone is welcome to join BLS, whether they're in the business school or not. We actually have members from all 4 academic colleges at Villanova, which is really cool. We host on and off campus social events and professional development opportunities. Like I said, we have students from every undergraduate academic college, and we also have mentoring relationships. So as a first-year student, you get paired with a sophomore or junior student and get to kind of have a relationship with them as you move through VSB and have someone that you can go to whenever you have questions about the business school or career planning or professors or anything like that. And the reason that our club exists is we believe that soft skills like effective communication, creativity, and adaptability are some of the biggest skills that are important in business. And we help our members build those skills through different workshops and things we do at our general body meetings. Our ultimate goal is to empower our members as leaders at
Want to play crazy
and beyond.
This girl right now talking is like a senior.
Okay, so just a little quick rundown of our semester plan. We're planning on having 2 general body meetings. Everything's going to be on Zoom this semester, just for safety and for ease of everything, barring any additional developments, just so there will be no interruption whatsoever. We can continue online if we need to. We're going to be doing networking activities, making conversation, and talking about planning your future during the general body meetings. Mostly just like talking to each other as much as we can. Planning on a like social hour, happy hour kind of thing, where we won't have any like official business to do during that time. It'll just be to kind of hang out in breakout rooms and meet upperclassmen and meet other students interested in business. And just kind of talk about life and build friendships. We're going to have an internship panel at some point over this semester. So we're just going to have upperclassmen that participated in internships and sharing how they acquired those internships and tips for interviewing and making the most of an internship when you get one. We'll also do big little matching again. So the first year students last year all got bigs in the fall. And so now it'll be their turn to get some first year students to mentor. So that'll be super exciting. The way we pair people up is we have people sign up for like getting a big and little, and then filling out like a preference form about kind of like what are your career interests, what are you looking for in a mentor, and having people kind of and matching people from there. Then we'll also have a guest speaker of some sort over Zoom, still determining whether that person, timing and stuff with that person. So yeah, other than that, just wanted to direct your attention to our info session, which is going to be tonight at 8 p.m. And it's all on Zoom. So if you would like to join, I would love to see you there. All of our contact information is also on this slide. So if you have any questions, if you can't make it tonight but are still interested in joining, feel free to email us. We have a website up there too, which has a ton of information about the club and our bylaws and everything kind of logistics wise. You can also follow us on Instagram. That's a really easy way to keep in touch. But yeah, I can take any questions at this point. Would love to see you guys tonight at the info session if you want to know a little bit more about the plan for the semester.
Great. Anybody with questions about the Business and Leadership Society, please feel free to chat those in. All right, Sophia, ready to tee up the Villanova Consulting Group.
Yeah, so the next group is the Villanova Consulting Group, which is also a really great opportunity, especially if you're interested in consulting, which is a really, really hot career to get into right now. And you're just going to learn so much about it. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to Ha.
All right. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Sophia. Good evening, everybody. I will now share the slides from our club. Very excited to have you all here today on this fine Monday evening. So get down to it. All right. Okay. That's not the one. Okay. All right. So welcome to the Villanova Consulting Group. Today we really hope to get to know you as well. So I'm just going to give a brief introduction about me myself. Today I'm Ha from Vietnam, study finance at MIS here, and came in as a political science major, but got in touch with consulting group freshman year. And ever since, I changed to the business side, and today I'm very fortunate to have been accompanied with my two friends, Chi here, who worked at McKinsey before, and will be returning on a full-time basis, and my VP, which is Max Milano, who worked at Gallagher before. So let's get down to it. So VCG was founded in 2015 by James and Greg. And, we have the mission statement is to become the greatest student-led organization for consulting in the greater Philly area, right? That is what we strive to do on a holistic basis. But what we want to do for you is we want to help prepare you guys to go into the world of consulting. Now, the word itself is so broad, right? Like, what is consulting? Essentially, consulting is you're helping others to achieve their goal. Like organizations, right? Like if Apple wants to come up with new products, they're going to poach people to say, what should we do? Some of them are in-house consultants. Some of them are outside, right? So they're going to come to these kind of consulting firms, McKinsey, ECG, Accenture, all those kind of names you can come up with, and those kind of people will help them to develop their product. Same with governments, right? The government from, Vietnam, right? Like we work, the government of Vietnam work with, consulting organizations as much as the consulting of, as much as, municipalities or like, cities, etc. In short, we develop professional program, connect our undergraduates to our alumni base. We organize external engagements with local companies, and we prepare case interview workshops for you guys, right? We're here for you. So I'll break it down a little bit further right now, right? What do we do, right? We do case competitions. In the past, we've received invitations to join, Wharton case competitions, Drexel, all those kind of names in Philly you can think of. The second thing we've done is real world engagements, right? I personally have had an opportunity to engagement with a subsidiary of Fidelity Investments. Now, what is an engagement? You basically serve as a student consultant for an external company, right? And you get the exposure to C-suite execs that, you might not have otherwise. Like I personally had the chance to present to the CEO, even in my freshman year. And I think that, that was a phenomenal experience. And in addition to that, we have case preparation workshops. You will realize in order to interview for consulting, it's the type of interview that is unlike any others. You're going to get behaviorals, sure, but you're going to be tested on how you solve problems, right? If a company wants to launch a new product, if a company wants to cut cost, right? If they want to enter into a new country, right? What should they do? And you're going to get things so abstract. You have to be a problem solver, a critical thinker. There's not much you can do. Like you can't possibly be an expert in any single thing. Like you can't be an expert in healthcare or like energy, whatever. You just have to be a critical thinker, and that's all we're going to ask from you. And finally, it's an exclusive networking opportunities. And this week, there's a good chance we're going to bring on the Boston Consulting Group. Over the last 2 weeks, we had Bain, we had McKinsey. And in the future, we're expecting to bring more of you guys, to get exposed with these kind of companies. And right now, here's our executive board member. I serve as the president. I'm a senior right now. I have Max here, and I'll have Chi, and I'll pass it on to them to speak more about that afterwards. And here's our structure. We're very fortunate to have Professor Kelly, who was the former senior partner at McKinsey in the Philadelphia office. And it has been a tremendous support for the group itself. So, if you're interested in the slightest, interest of consulting, solving problems, regardless of your, do join. We'll be launching our website later this week, in which a form to sign up for the club and receive, emails and so forth. I'll pass it on to Chi-Chi to speak about the consulting industry.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Chi-Chi. Just give a little introduction. I'm a senior, also finance major. I'm from Nigeria, so I'm an international student. And like as Hal mentioned, I worked at McKinsey in my sophomore year, and I'll be returning full time. But in between, I've done other kinds of internships. I've also worked at Goldman Sachs in the trading floor, and my freshman year, I also worked at EY. So yeah, just to give a little brief overview of what the consulting industry is. So as Hal mentioned, a consultant is pretty much someone who has the critical and I guess intellectual ability to help people solve problems. They're problem solvers, wide thinkers. They know how to think critically about some of the most difficult problems that exist in the world and break it down into practical solutions. So to give an example of something a consultant could work on, say a lot of consultants worked with governments to help put together COVID-19 plans to open up, things like that. And those are not simple problems to think through. And so that's typically where the role of consultants come in. And so consultants can provide experience, expertise, and objectivity for clients to see for a specific fee. And looking at the MBB consulting firms, that's like the cream of the crop in the consulting industry. These are it's a pretty expensive service to hire, and so a lot of companies, I guess they pay this huge premium because they know that these huge companies could help them solve these mighty problems. So come on top of consulting, business management strategy, that's like the MBB, McKinsey, BCG, Bain, and there's economic, that's Cornerstone, Infotech, Accenture, and a little bit of Deloitte. Litigation, that's at DI, and human resources, that's Mercer. So typically when you go into different consulting firms have different areas of expertise. So for the bigger ones like McKinsey, Bain, BCG, Deloitte, et cetera, they're a lot more generalist. And they do cover a broad range of different kinds of industries. And so they're not specific to one particular kind. When I worked there, I worked on a healthcare project, and I know a couple people who worked in like entertainment and media, other people worked in education, worked in the automobile industry. So it's a huge variety of things available to work on. And yeah, they usually have a couple thousand consultants, but I wouldn't say they're as big as like say the big four. I know that McKinsey, for example, the entire world, it has like, it has offices in a lot of countries, a lot of the major cities in the world, and there's about 32,000 consultants in the whole world. And which in comparison to like a Deloitte where there's like hundreds of thousands, so it's comparatively smaller, but they do have a couple people. And like I mentioned, cover a huge variety of different kinds of industries, whereas like smaller boutique firms, so boutique firms are smaller consulting firms, those ones usually focus on something specific, say biotech, life sciences, human resources, infotech, et cetera. They're a lot more niche. And so typically when you're working, I guess, in a consulting firm, the groups or like the teams, to speak colloquially, are made up of a partner, engagement manager, senior consultant, or like an analyst or intern. This could vary, but like a standard team usually consists of people of those, that's kind of pretty much what the hierarchy is on those teams. But again, like their consulting firms are pretty flat, but that like there's a representative from each of these roles on a standard consulting team. So partner director has probably been at the firm for like 20, 15 years and owns a firm by investing their own equity in it, or equivalent to C staff. And then a principal is right below partner. Partners in training, assign project, teams communicate, etc. Then there's an engagement manager who's specialized experience in projects. So typically an engagement manager probably has specific kinds of experience working in specific projects, specific kinds of industries, so they could really help to spearhead the project in the right direction. And there's a senior consultant, which is fairly similar to a consultant. So like, I guess the short and long of this is just to kind of say that this is typically what a standard consulting team looks like, and it may vary depending on the company.
What's up, guys? I'm Max. I'm the vice president of BCG. I'm a senior finance major. And like Haas said earlier, we at BCG, we do external engagements. So I was actually a part of one my sophomore year with the Marion Cricket Club. And I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about it so you can understand really what we do with the engagements. I love talking about this. I have it on my resume, and it's really a great talking point because so basically the Marion Creek Club came to me and a group of 6 other students and asked us to help them with their social media presence. So we spent about half a semester basically looking up how their competitors and how they can best utilize their social media to drive new membership to the club. And it was a really cool experience for me being, a 19-year-old kid presenting something that I researched to, a whole C-suite of people who are clearly very wealthy and have done a lot with their lives. And, they're sitting there listening to me telling them how to, run their Instagram account. That's the kind of experience that you get with these engagements. It's something that you really can't put a value on for, the experiences that you're able to have beforehand. Like, I don't know, coming into this, I was just like, I didn't really know what to expect or anything like that. But at the end of it, having presented what we worked hard on for however many weeks to this executive board, and then having them, ask questions, be engaged, and really take what we said, and like put value on that. That was, a really cool experience. Like I said, that's something that I love having on my resume. I love being able to talk about in interviews because it's a real professional experience, and something that I don't know if all societies give or if that's specific to us, but I know that's something that like we pride ourselves on for sure. If you can go to the next slide. So this is a list of opportunities for internships and jobs. I'm not going to read through these, but you guys can take a look. Up here we obviously have the big companies, Boston Consulting Group, which was mentioned, McKinsey, which was mentioned. There's also Alpha Sites and FTI applications coming up. There's a lot of opportunities for a lot of really unique roles within all these different companies coming up. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out to reach out to any of us, and we can, help, like he said, get you prepared for those interviews and those applications and all that. And then just to wrap things up, we'll give a brief agenda. So like Haas said, we had Bain and McKinsey visit, which is part of the whole consulting mania during this month. We have BCG coming, and some more big name firms coming in to speak, talk about their opportunities, network, things like that. Next month, we'll have a boutique consulting fair. So like Chichi talked about, there's like the big players in the boutique firms. So we'll have the boutique firms come in, talk about their niches and sort of the opportunities that are involved with that. And then after that, we'll get into general body meetings, after applications and interviews are kind of dying down. And then starting next semester, we will be full go ahead with another engagement. I'm not sure what company that will be with or, the details around that, but we're figuring that right now. So definitely keep that in the back of your heads because like I said, that's a really great experience and something that, you can talk about on your resume and interviews, just whenever.
That's all we have.
Okay, it looks like we have one question that came in. Are the consulting internship opportunities open to first-year students, or are they mainly geared towards upperclassmen?
So I could take this question. So typically they are, like the internship programs are geared towards upperclassmen, but they do have a couple externships. So those are like 3 days, 4-day long programs where you could get to know the company. And typically those are like fast track to an interview. So I know McKinsey has a freshman leadership academy. I know a couple people who have participated, and then that experience has been turned into an internship. So I wouldn't be discouraged that there aren't internships, but I would encourage you to participate nonetheless because that could translate into an internship in the future.
Thanks, Chi-Chi. Accurate. And any externships that we become aware of at Villanova through VSB or through at the university level, they would be posted to Handshake, and you can filter them in Handshake jobs through the experiential ed filter. Another question for the consulting group, is there a form that students should complete, or is there someone that they should email directly if they're interested in getting involved in the organization?
Yeah, I can take this one. I mean, if you want to get a step ahead right away, I mean, feel free to shoot an email to villanova@gmail.com. I mean, I'll probably get a list of all the people on this call by the end either way. But the trajectory is that we're going to launch our website this week. On that website, you're going to fill out a form saying you're interested, and then we're going to add you to the distribution list. And then hopefully you'll attend our general body meetings this fall. The goal is to get you guys recruited, get you guys to where you want to be professionally. And in spring, we're going to launch that engagement, right? It might be with a consumer retail company, it might be with a technology company, and we're still figuring that out. But we'll be doing it, and it's an excellent opportunity for you guys to enter in, like Max said before, because it's going to go a long way when it comes to interviews afterwards.
And Lindsay, we had a couple of questions about how folks could get connected with BLS. So did you just want to reiterate the best way for folks to get connected with you?
Yeah, so if you're interested in joining BLS, definitely would recommend attending the info session tonight at 8 if you can. If not, email us. So I'll drop the email address in the chat. And just send us an email. We'll make sure that we get you on our email distribution list, so you'll get notified when group interviews and stuff like that are starting.
Also, I would confirm what Ha said. For the students participating in this series, any of the Spotlight Series sessions, we are going to be providing the leaders of each of the societies with the names and email addresses of all of the students that have participated in each. So you should start to get on the mailing list for the related student societies. Any other questions about the Villanova Entrepreneurship Society, the Business and Leadership Society, and or the Villanova Consulting Group? All right. Well, thank you to the leaders of our societies. Thank you to Sophia for representing the Council of Presidents. I will hang on here for a couple of minutes and if the society leaders can as well, if anybody has direct questions they need to ask, we can take care of them then. So thanks for joining us and have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. George, Jake, or Christina, are you with us? And do you have questions to ask directly?
Yeah, I actually did have one question.
Sure.
So how can we get the contacts to join these clubs?
So we actually just addressed that, George. Is there one of the three or all of the three that you're particularly interested in? If so, they can provide you with the society email list. And we're also going to provide the leaders of each of these groups with the names and email addresses of students who logged into the session. Was there one of the groups that you're particularly interested in?
Yeah, I was actually looking at all the groups just for now, and I want to learn them a little bit more from their like introduction meetings and to see which ones I want to join like permanently. So I was just thinking all of them. Yeah, I saw that the girl from business leadership, she put her email in, and then they were talking about everything with the consulting, but I just want to like have the emails so I could join and be sure.
Sure. Ha, do you want to tell them the best way to connect with VCG, and then Andy with Villanova Entrepreneurship Society?
Yeah, hey George. The best way is simply to email us. It's our name, Villanova Consulting Group @gmail.com. Shoot us an email if you want to, get to know us or have a chat or whatsoever, and we'll be happy to have you.
So did you
Great,
get
thank
that?
you.
Yep, and Andy just chatted in the email address for Villanova Entrepreneurship Society and his personal email.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
You bet. Thanks for joining us, George. All right. Good job. You had a crew at one point of about 82 students.
Very cool.
Thanks
Real
so
good turnout.
much.
Good. You
Yeah,
did a great
thank
job.
you, Brenda and Sophia. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you did a great
Yeah,
job of
thank you,
introducing your
guys.
groups.